was well-versed in the nonprofit world, that we were finding someone who was well-versed in what it means to raise funds for a grassroots organization that is working towards the betterment of Black people. That was really important. And so her work with the NAACP was certainly appealing to us. So that's how we ended. And then we spent the next few months in negotiations trying to figure out when, who, what, when, where, and how she's gonna start. And she officially started in March of 2020. And I've been really thrilled to see the work that she's done. And I just wanna contextualize that for you. So Ms. Brown started a new position of this magnitude just before Rona took over the outside. And that is a feat, okay? So, there were lots of changes that we had to make as a staff because of the office space that we were using, lots of ways that we were interfacing with our community members, award ceremonies, summits, workshops, seminars, all of that had to be changed to make sure that everybody was safe. And I believe that and I know that Dr. Shepard would agree with me, she's handled that with such grace. We are now in month 3 of Corona, and she's handled that with such grace. So I'm really thrilled and I'm sure that we got the right person. So I'll end with when she came, which is March 2020. She'll pick up from March 2020, but it's been my pleasure to work with her.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that run play-by-play, I will say. And that was necessary. It really was necessary because we want people to know that in selecting a executive director to take us to the next level, if you would, we wanted to make sure that we were thoughtful in that process, we were insightful. And so again, thank you for going through that, Dr. Carter. I wanted to acknowledge some of the other board members who may be present on this platform tonight. I believe I saw Dr. Kyla on.
Yep, Dr. K's here.
All right, Dr. K, are you all right? She's here. All right, wonderful. And later on, since it is an hour, and again, we're gonna keep it moving. If they just wanna say a greet hello and say hello to everyone, we will give them that opportunity. I believe I saw Patrice out there too. Patrice.
Yep, our board secretary, Ms. Soa, is here as well.
Okay. All right, so wonderful. Have I missed anybody, Dr. Carter?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right, so wanted to do that. Let's do this, Roxana. I wanna do just a couple of questions to kind of give everybody a kind of a heads up. We're saving our executive director for a little later, all right, because she's the keynote. So you never put your keynote up at the very beginning. No. So let's just do just a couple of questions, all right? And we're sharing the screen, and we want you to participate. We want this to be interactive. This is a little bit of trivia, Black Mental Health Alliance trivia, a little bit of Black trivia too. Again, everyone now is doing their best to get acquainted with Black history right now. So again, like Dr. Carter said, this is our work. This is what we do. And so let's look at this first question. Why was BMHA created? And here you have 4 different choices. So go ahead and pick your choice. Was it for health clinicians of color wanted better jobs, to employ Black people in mental health serving positions, to work with city officials to address mental health, or health clinicians of color saw a need to provide cultural competence and cultural sensitivity training in the various healthcare settings in which they worked? All right. So hopefully you have made your selection. And just to let you know, the hosts and panelists cannot vote. All right, so I cannot vote. All right, so that's the first question. Let's just do about 3 questions, okay, Roxana? Yeah, second question. All right, that's the first question. All right. So you might need to talk me through this, Roxana. Do we want to give the answer to the question now, or we want to do the first three questions and then give the answers?
We can do them at the end when we find out the answers.
Okay. All right, great. Can we do the second question now? Second question is on now. All right. I don't see it.
You have to scroll down
I gotta scroll down.
in the polls.
Okay. Do I need to switch back to active speaker to see it? All right.
You got it. You got it?
Actually, I know what they are, but I don't see them on here, so which is fine. All right. The second question is name the two founders of the Black Mental Health Alliance. I purposely wanted to do at least those first three questions in preparation for our next speaker. And so you got that. And then the third question is, what year did BMHA become incorporated? So hopefully you got those three questions that you answered to the best of your knowledge. And, we'll see, who gets the most questions right. No prizes tonight. Everything's virtual. So we just give you a virtual, prize. Okay. So again, just want to engage everyone today, keep everybody in tune with what we're doing today. So next up is a person who I have great respect for, and someone who I had a chance to meet when I first joined Black Mental Health Alliance as the board president. And she was an instrumental part of keeping me encouraged as we were formulating and generating a new board. And I tell you, Dr. Catherine Collier has really been a force in this city, as she is a dentist who really provides care to those vulnerable populations. If you ever had a tooth pain or a toothache, you know that a dentist is your best friend. And not just because of that, she cares for our young people whose dental hygiene has really have suffered for various different reasons. And so I am thankful to be in partnership with her. She is also the widow of one of the co-founders of the Black Mental Health Alliance, Dr. Maxie Collier. And so I thought it was appropriate, we thought it was appropriate that she just greet us, give some reflections. We know we don't hear from her during events. She just likes to be there, support. She's always there. But I think this is a great time. Just bring some historical perspective also. And so please, Dr. Catherine Collier, or I'm so used to calling her Kathy, take it and please share some reflections with us today.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you. Thank everyone on the board. But I want to take this opportunity to thank you, Dr. Shepherd, especially for this amazing work. And I know at times it must feel like an uphill battle, but we're used to that. We're used to that. We're strong people, and we're used to uphill battles. And so, I mean, you've been engaged in this for a very long time. So is the Black Mental Health Alliance, and everyone involved. And so I just want to thank everyone. Of course, we need leaders. And as I said, this is an opportunity to thank those on the board and you, Dr. Shepherd, and Ms. Andrea Brown, who I got to talk to today. And I said, the timing couldn't be more perfect. I mean, this is a real springboard right now. And people are listening. You know, this might be a short window too, but people are listening finally after so much to now bring attention to the mental health issues in communities of color. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from Maxie, and then some of the things he was saying, I think they were too advanced for me at the time. I didn't even grasp it until later. And then I'm like, wow, he was saying this is like 30 something years ago. Longer actually. And I've even understood some of these things even more deeply through you and the importance of dealing with the trauma.
Yes.
And I guess everyone here is signed up, you know, figuratively to deal with this issue, then to recognizing the trauma and the effects of the trauma that's in, and to try to rebuild and transform. So I said, so I have tremendous, it was a mutual respect. Thank you, thank you. And I'm very anxious to hear from our new executive director, who I'm very excited about. And as I said, she's just like springboard into so much right now, because I know it seemed like the timing with the pandemic, like, everything like shut down, but actually there's some things that are coming out of this that may be surprising, that we may land someplace completely different as a result of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you, Kathy. Yeah, I keep saying this on different platforms that it's time to hit the reset button for those who are ready to go to another level, a higher level, drop off that weight and baggage. So I agree with you. Man, that hit home, you know, that what we thought that we were going to end up with in 2020, we might end up with a whole different place. And I'm talking about a better place. So yeah. I appreciate that. All right. Wonderful. Let's put up the next 3 questions. All right. And then we're going to hear from our executive director. So Roxana, let's put up the next 3 questions. Keep moving here. There's a little method to my madness on tonight. So question number 4. All right. This is a new question. I don't see this one.
Oh yeah, oh my.
Roxana, where you get that question from? I don't remember seeing that one on my list.
Deep. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I've seen this one before.
Number 4.
That was number 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's scroll down to the polls. You'll see questions 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. Great. So question 4 should be, what is mental health? Question 5 is, why is mental health important? And number 6 is what is depression? All right. So go ahead and answer those questions. We're giving you 6 questions. And that's about the halfway point of what we're going to do on tonight. So, all right. Question number 4, what is mental health? Number 5, why is mental health important? Number 6, what is depression? I saw a message come through the chat. Roxana, if there's something you need to let me know, you can unmute yourself. I'll make sure everyone is on the same page. All right, I'm assuming so. All right, so hopefully you've had the chance to answer those first 6 questions. All right, we're getting ready now to hear from our executive director. I'm gonna quit saying new and just say our executive director because as Kathy and Dr. Carter have already alluded to, I believe the timing in which she started was divine. Not to get all deep and spiritual, but I do believe in timing is crucial, and that there's a time and place for everything, and that there's a season. And I believe that this is Andrea's season to be with the Black Mental Health Alliance. I truly do believe that, and that her starting in March when we were going into a stay-at-home shelter-in-place was the beginning for many of us of a reset. And for Black Mental Health Alliance, it was the beginning of sorts of a reset as we were faced with challenges that we've never faced before. And so I'm glad that we have a board of directors with the executive director now who can help lead the charge as we're charting new territory. And it is my distinct privilege on tonight to introduce to some, present to others, Mrs. Andrea Brown.
Thank you, Dr. Shepherd, for your words. Thank you for your support, your leadership, your vision. Thank you, Dr. Carter, for leading the search committee, and for more importantly, for picking me for such a time as this. Welcome to the members of our board, community activists, advocates, our friends, our family, and even you agitators out there. Welcome. So thank you for tonight. I want to again thank Dr. Collier. It was great speaking with you on yesterday. I learned a lot. I do want to acknowledge, even in her absence tonight, one of the co-founders as well, Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam, who served as one of the early pioneers in this work. And so again, thank you to Professor Manley, who heads up the scholars at Coppin. And again, I could go on and make sure that we mention you, but definitely want to thank you. Thank you to our partners who labor with us in this critical work. I see Amy out there, I see Crystal, I see several of you out there. And so I wanna say thank you and give a shout out to my immediate predecessor, Jan Desper-Peters, and the executive directors before her, because quite frankly, I stand here really on your shoulders with a view not from the cheap seats, but from the balcony, because you put the work in. And so really what you have done is set us up to be greater than we were before. I don't wanna, again, I wanna give a shout out to Dr. Maxie T. Collier, who thought it not robbery to push for this work to promote healing and wholeness in the Black community. And so we're forever grateful for the footprint. And last, and certainly not last, I wanna thank the BMHA staff and consultants who continually make bricks out of straw. I see you, I know you're working, I know you're working late, I see the emails coming in, but rest assured, just hang here with us. I promise you that we will do what is fair, we will make impact, and we will grow, and your labor will not be forgotten. So again, appreciate you. So I wanna do one disclosure. So I'm gonna do a few things and then I'm gonna show a slide. But I want you to say right now, I want you to hear me right now when I say I'm Andrea Brown and I approve this upcoming message. Yeah. So I don't want it to be caught off guard. I'm in front of my bosses, so make me look good. But at the end of the day, I approve this message. Can you believe that I've been on board a total of 77 days? 77. 7 is my favorite number, so I guess I'm double favorite today. And I didn't hit the ground running. I hit the ground and started to fly. 10 days, and I think Dr. Carter mentioned this, 10 days after the dry erase board had been put up and installed in my office, and post-its notes from several strategic sessions had been put up and were all sprawled all around my office. The coronavirus prompted the immediate shift in our workflow. We were in remote work mode, and I still had much to learn and much to do. I could not breathe, and I didn't want to, not in this case. We had to address the impact of COVID-19 on the Black community, on you, on me, on them. We had to talk about our health and subsequent healing before we could get any of this done. And now here's the next one. Before we could fully settle into Zoom land, you know Zoom land, Zoom in the morning, Zoom in the afternoon, Zoom at night. Before we could fully settle in, the second pandemic hit. And I know you're like, Andrea, what are you talking about? No, there's a second pandemic. First there was coronavirus, and then the infiltration of racism into our communities. I know you're saying, but racism was already here, but not like we've seen. So communities already under siege, dealing with trauma and pain. And while racism is not new, lynchings are not new. They're new people, but they're not new. But if we didn't act and if we didn't do something, an entire generation of Black brilliance would be castrated if we didn't hold our peace. And so we launched immediately into how do we help our community? We do the town halls, we do the outreaches, and we've made sure that we've made our stance known on social media. Let me share with you a quick excerpt from Dr. King's 1963 jail cell in Birmingham. And what he said, he wrote lots, but I just took a quick snippet, and it says, there comes a time when the cup of endurance runs over and men are no longer willing to be plunged into the abyss of despair. Don't you find that funny that 57 years later, mankind, 57 years, is no longer willing to be plunged into the abyss of despair? And so we find ourselves here. This is the time and this is the moment. A new wave of social consciousness has evolved, and it is imperative for us, for you, but for us here at the Black Mental Health Alliance to provide a platform for healing and wholeness in this moment. I heard a presenter recently share that we cannot skip accountability and we cannot skip healing. And since we cannot skip healing, that's our game. That's what we do. That is how we point people on wholeness. Our charge now becomes stronger. And it is why we can't wait. We must do more. We will do more. We will be more. And you should expect more from us. And here's what I really want to tell you. Watch us deliver. Not just today, but in the months to come, in the years to come. Watch us build this national model so that folk across the country want to know, how do we heal our community like the Black Mental Health Alliance has been able to do through forums and all of those kinds of things, through their referral database. So let me do this. I want to be able to share with you briefly, just in a few slides. I want to be mindful of your time. In a few slides, where we are going, and I will share my screen now. So stay with me. So what I'm asking you is to look at the Black Mental Health Alliance Reimagine, changing the conversation, renewing minds, transforming lives, and quite frankly, changing the game. Next slide. And the next one. Every generation has its moment. This is ours. This is the moment for the Black Mental Health Alliance to step onto the national stage like we've not been before. This is indeed our moment. So we own, this is ours, Black Minds Matter. So when you see it, know that it belongs to us because Black minds are brilliant. We've talked about our history, and so I won't stay there. But again, Dr. Shepherd talked about it. He talked about our vision, I think, as well as Dr. Carter. And so again, be on the lookout for us. Black minds do matter. So you've heard our vision, so I won't stay there. But again, it is the creation of an equitable system for Black people to be able to have access to resources, respectable and compassionate society. And we really do envision a Black community in which optimal health is really, it really belongs to us. It's not something that we are fighting for. It is something that we are living. And we want to change the conversation. Our mission, we've talked about that. Again, let's renew minds. Take the stigma out of how we once saw mental health. Take the taboo out of it so that we can move, be whole, and heal. And as we talk about our mission, let's talk about the intersection of race and trauma. Here's some of our programs, you know about them, the Youth Tobacco Enforcement Initiative. We continue to do that. We continue to work closely with the health department for that. And so that's what we're doing now. Again, trauma-informed workshops, healing circles, and summits. Nobody does those like we do, but to be able to have a deep, deep determination and self-examination about why we behave the way we do, and even why we don't get the help that we need. And so we are super excited about the clinicians that are part of our referral base, practitioners who want to do this work and who are now asking us to help us train their frontline responders. And how do we provide that kind of training? And so Mind Health Shop Talk, our partners at Kaiser, we're super excited about moving into a new platform virtually. So we're doing a lot of exciting things. And that really is community engagement at its best level. That is where we are. Barbershops is where we're talking. And hair salons are where we are having and engaging conversations about what people, what communities of color, what Black communities need. And then the youth mental health and wellness activities. And so I could go on and on about that. We are super excited about what they've done. We hosted a summit last year. We're doing it virtually this year, and we have turned it up a notch. And so we're not just talking about trauma, race and racism, health and healing, but we're also talking about their role in civic engagement. What should that look like? And how they cannot be silent. It is not safe. Yes. And so now, so some of the new things that we are doing, I mentioned earlier, we had an emergency town hall meeting to really deal with, it's gonna come after this, but to really deal with the collateral impact of what would happen, what happens to Black communities after COVID or during COVID? What does that look like for already under-resourced communities? And so we have now developed a full-on series, and we are excited about that. We bring experts from across the country, across the state, to really deeply dive in to how we help people. And the final stage will be, the final series will be on the road to recovery. How do we hit the reset button? You heard Dr. Shepherd talk about that. And the truth of the matter is we will reset, we will win. There is a process to that. And the Black Mental Health Alliance will help you do that. And so this is one of our super exciting new programs called the Healing Youth Alliance. And in collaboration with our partners at the University of Maryland School of Social Work and other community partners, we really are focusing on how do we increase mental health awareness for our young people so that you're not shamed because you go to see a therapist. You can go to Starbucks and to therapy. And how do we decrease the stigma related to mental health, mental and mental illness? And more importantly, how do we train you to come back and be voiced in your community? This is your community. You get to own it. And so we're excited about this pilot, and it is our hope that, again, that this too will be a national model. And so where are we going next? Where are we going next? Let's be honest. The sky really is the limit. You can go to the next slide. The sky really is the limit for us. Where do we want to go? And so you heard me talk a little bit about stay with us, so 2020 and beyond. And so what that really looks like, we want to become a national model and a leader in this work. And what we'd like to do and what we're committed to do, just watch us become the first. We will have the first affiliate chapter of the Black Mental Health Alliance, and we'll have chapters all around the country so that you can now train your community. So it gives us a wonderful time to be able to, again, train leaders in communities, and then they get to do the work. They get to help heal their community. We're going to increase brand awareness, and we're doing that in a number of ways. We've got an online store coming with some hot swag, but bigger than that, we are pouring into our members. And so not only are we asking you to join, but we are promoting when you do join, there will be discounts available to you at other places and at some other things. And so I just want to say that as we increase brand awareness, we've got a super exciting podcast that's coming July 15th. You don't want to miss it. So we'll be able to do a number of things through that. And again, some of our membership campaigns. In July, we're hosting a Faith Leaders Roundtable. And let me tell you why we're doing that. The faith community has been our friend and is our friend. But some of what we've learned is it is not always 3 steps to your healing. And so we are asking faith leaders to come to the table and provide not just a prescription, but not just the scripture, but a prescription for how we help heal. Practical ways that we can engage the faith community, because under their leadership, there are people who are sick and silent, and they need to know that. And then we're going to do a full launch of our National Institute for Maximal Human Development. That is going to be super exciting. It is our latest collaboration. And so we are excited about what that will mean about being able to train and educate hospitals and large universities, all of those, so that they will understand what it really means to be able to provide culturally competent training to providers and to their team. And so the last is we're going to, again, push for the expansion of culturally competent training beyond the DMV. And so we are excited about our footprint here in Baltimore and some of our work we do in DC and Virginia. But honestly, we are called, I hear our being called to a national level. And I know you hear it too. And so this is an exciting time. We will never get this moment back as we mark it in history. And so I can't tell you enough. I can't share enough. I can't be passionate enough about where we are going. And we are hoping that this is just the beginning of your journey with us. And so I'm going to send you to your website. We've seen companies reach out to us. I think Dr. Collier mentioned it earlier about this notion of this is our moment, seizing our moment. We've had folk calling us from Alabama and Arizona asking us, can we provide a training model for their workers? What do they need to do for their Black staff and their any staff? And so we're going to show you exactly what to do, and it will become what we know, and it will make us, again, what we've longed for and what we really are as a national leader in this work. And so I think as I close today in this work, and as I close, I really want to leave you with something from Audre Lorde, a poet, activist, and feminist. And one of the things she said is that our silence won't protect us. And so one of the things that we are doing, we are urging on our websites, on every social platform, don't be silent about how you feel. This is what we are here for. And this is a moment like never before to be able to help our community heal. And so I am challenging you today to work with us, to walk with us, be with us as we journey in this movement for good mental health for Black people. And as we journey, that we won't be silent. And don't be afraid of the conversations about race and racism and about mental health. We can own this moment, and we should. Thank you so much. I give you peace and power as we do this work. Dr. Shepherd, back to you. Maybe not back to him. So maybe this is where I sing and dance. Oh, okay.
No. That take me off of being muted. Wow.
Thank you, Dr. Shepherd.
Yeah, I had to give more than just a virtual hand clap.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. If you were not inspired, something's wrong. That was wonderful, clear, concise, and I really appreciate the time and effort that you put. And again, we're not about just words; we're about action.
That's right.
And as I was saying earlier, and I think I mentioned this to Andrea, I'm a person who feels energy. And I remember very clearly when the Freddie Gray uprisings occurred. And I remember calling Jan, who was the former executive director at the time, calling her and said, we have to do something at that time. And that energy, again, spilled into what was to the call to actions that we did and really helped shift the viewpoints and even the perspective of how the Black Mental Health Alliance was even viewed within the city of Baltimore. I will never forget that. I will never forget that. But let me tell you, Andrea, I feel that same energy here again. I'm not just saying that. If anybody who knows me, I've been talking about it, and I feel it even greater now. And so what you have done even today, even as you've spoken, you have raised even my energy level to say, come on, it's time to do this. And it's time to take the world by storm because we have to make sure that our people are doing well. When I say our people, I do mean Black people.
That's
and
right.
I do people of every color, but in particular right now, Black people. I'm not ashamed to say that Black people, we are in need of real help. And we want to make sure that we are there to do just that. So thank you again.
Thank
I
you.
don't want to say anything else because anything else I say will ruin what you just did. So,
Thank
all
you.
right.
Thank you so much.
We have about 10 minutes left. I want to just give, if we can, Roxana, why don't we just give the answer to those 6 questions? I'm going to leave it right there with those 6 questions.
Okay.
I don't want to bother the people too much. I want to use too much brain power. I don't know. I'm exhausted and still got some more work to do.
I know. How about it, right?
Yeah. So is it possible, Roxana, that we can give the answers to those 6?
I think she's about to.
Okay. And again, while I'm saying this, we do have a little bit of time. If it's possible, Roxana, I know I'm asking 2 things at the same time. If Patrice and Kyla could just say hello very quickly from the board of directors.
Patrice and Kyla want to say hello.
That would be great.
Oh, okay.
While we are pulling up the poll, let me just take a moment to acknowledge the loss of life that we have had in our community. Sister Tyra Phillips is known on WAA. Tyra Womack was killed last night outside of her home, and she is one of the hosts of Gospel Grace on WEAA. And so whenever one of our lives is lost, we all feel that. Her energy I did not know her, but her energy has touched me because I have sorority sisters who knew her and who were closer with her. And it had also touched the Black Mental Health Alliance because we partner with WAA quite a bit. We have made appearances on many of the shows, Good Day with Dr. K, the Sean Yo Show. We made appearances on many of the shows at WAA. So the Black Mental Health Alliance mourned with WAA in this time. And of course, we mourn with each other. We are supporting each other. If anybody here needs support, and certainly reach out to the Black Mental Health Alliance. We have a referral process in place and we can help you get connected to a therapist. But I did want to let everybody know that we want to make sure that we acknowledge the loss of life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I think Mrs. Patrice Soa is here. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, come on and just say something, greet greet us from the board of directors?
Certainly. So I just want to, Dr. Carter gave a great overview of how we came to select and ultimately hire Ms. Brown. And I was pleased to be a part of that process. From the very beginning, I was personally impressed with how her presence and her energy and her ideas. So I'm very excited that she is our new executive director. As you indicated, her energy is contagious and she's very passion driven. So I'm excited to have her and I'm excited about where we're going. She had a lot of great ideas. So again, welcome, Ms. Brown. I'm so excited to have you here. And thank you so much for this opportunity to say a few words personally.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Patrice. I think Dr. K is gone. He may have had to leave. So wanted to at least acknowledge her and thank you. All right. Are we able to get those answers out for those 6 questions, Roxana, before we leave? Because we're going to be done on time today.
Starting and on time, that's right. So question number 1, why was BMHA created? The answer is health clinicians of color saw a need to provide cultural competence and cultural sensitivity training in the various healthcare settings in which they worked. If you got that right, give yourself a pat on the back. Question number 2, name 2 founders of the Black Mental Health Alliance. The answer is actually all of the above, but there's Dr. Maxie Collier, Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam, as well as Edgar Wiggins. What year did BMHA become incorporated? 1984. What is mental health? Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Why is mental health important? The answer is because it is a vital part of your life and impacts your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. What is depression? A group of conditions associated with the elevation or lowering of a person's mood, also depression or bipolar disorder. Who was the first African-American to run for president of the United States? The answer is George Edwin Taylor. He ran in 1904.
Wow. Okay.
Who was the first African-American psychiatrist who made significant contributions to the study of Alzheimer's disease? Dr. Solomon Carter Fuller was a pioneering African-American psychiatrist. Number 9, what is the population that BMHA serves? BMHA primarily serves organizations and the community at large by providing referrals to those on our membership database and through the provision of a range of gratis and fee-for-service educational summits, forums, and in-service trainings. And fun pop culture fact, which American Idol attempted suicide by taking a combination of pills in 2010 following a public breakup with her boyfriend? The answer is Fantasia.
Wow. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. And let me just say this as we're getting ready to close. Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam was with us on Monday during our board of directors meeting. And let me just say, she did endorse Andrea Brown. And so I told her, I said, that endorsement goes a whole lot of a way. And so we're so grateful for Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam. Please let her know we mentioned her name, that she was definitely thought of even on this evening. And we do appreciate the years of service that she has provided with this organization and to the state of Maryland, and really towards the wellness of Black people and for mental health throughout this country. So, all right. I think they're letting me know that Dr. K is back on. All right. All right. If you are Dr. K, if you would please just, and please forgive me for just using acronym. No, that's just how we are. So please forgive me for just doing that. I know we're trying to be formal, but I appreciate you. All right. Just greet us, say hello. You serve so much, so well on that committee.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's been a wonderful evening. And Ms. Brown, it is a pleasure to be working with you, and I look forward to supporting you for years to come.
Yes, thank you, Dr. K.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, it is 7:58. We're going to give you 2 more minutes back. Again, we appreciate all of y'all who stayed with us for the hour. We're looking forward to joining and partner with you as we move forward. We move this train forward toward really wholeness and mental wellness for people of color. I won't say Black people, but really for people of color. And I wish you all a good night. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. Wear those masks when you go outside. Coronavirus is not over. So please stay safe, stay healthy, and may God bless. See you all later.
Good night. Thank you.